Hi, I'm Ryan, the founder of Ironsmith Audio. Welcome to my home studio as well as the official Ironsmith Audio YouTube channel, where I wanted to give you an overview of the brand new Ironsmith Audio DIRE. This is an instrument DI and reamping box. I design gear to provide solutions to issues I run into in the studio. In this regard, direct boxes that compromise the signal integrity and tonal qualities of the instrument that you're trying to record. That is where this came from. Now, it shares some similarities to other similar boxes on the market, such as your 1/4-inch TS connectors, right? You kind of need those. There's two of them, input and throughput. However, this is a passive design, so you can utilize either as your input, throughput, or output to your amplifier while you are reamping. And you have an XLR Female connector here. It's set sideways because when you have this on your desk and you put your hand on it to hold it and you put your other hand on the mic cable, your thumb naturally falls where that push button lever is on the XLR connector of your mic cable. So it's just much more natural to just grab that and unplug and plug in your cable. Additionally, you have your ground lift. If it's in GR position, you have your ground engaged. If it's in the lift position, obviously your ground is lifted. If you're in a properly set up home studio or a professional studio, you're likely never going to utilize this. But if you're like in a rehearsal space or out on the road, because this is roadworthy, then you may need that ground lift. Where this starts to separate itself from the competition, so to speak, one is in the enclosure. This enclosure is all metal constructed. It's aluminum. It's solid, one piece except for the bottom, right? This is roadworthy. It's built like a tank. So you got nothing to worry about as far as the build quality. Then you have the fact that everything here is hand done. All of these holes, I hand drill myself on my drill press in my garage. Then I take these enclosures in over to my workbench there, and it's a mess because I just got finished building serial number 1 and number 2. And I hand wire all of these. There's not a single circuit board anywhere in here. It's all point-to-point wiring. I use silver bearing solder. There are no copper wiring in here because copper is not as good a conductor as silver. So you have a high quality signal path for your audio to pass through. I also picked a specific transformer to handle the duties of this box to maintain that signal integrity and, more importantly, the tonal qualities of your instruments. There are other passive boxes on the market that when I use them, they soften things, they roll off the top end. I didn't spend the money on my custom Paul Reed Smith 24, my custom BC Rich Mockingbird, my Guild, or my Warwick because it was fun to spend that kind of money. I did it because those instruments give me a sound that I want. I want a passive DI and reamp box that's not going to screw up your tone. It's not going to suck the life out of your instruments. And that's what the DIRE does for you. It maintains that tonal quality and signal integrity of your instruments. There is over 100,000 ohm input impedance on this box. It is not going to destroy your tonal quality. And when you pair this with the Ironsmith Audio XS1, you can get transformer saturation out of it, and you can really start to experiment with shaping the sound of your music. Now, you'll notice this switch right here that says F and B. F stands for full range, B stands for bass. It is not elevating the low end of the signal. This is similar to the tonal switch on the character switch on the XS1 and XS2, which originated in the XS10. The difference is the switch on the XS1, 2, and 10 rolls off the top end starting around 8K and does a gentle roll off and elevates the mid-range for more transformer saturation. This is designed to be hi-fi and clean. When I ran a sine wave sweep through this, it is virtually flat in its frequency response. Even down to 10 hertz, it's very little roll-off. But when you engage the bass switch, what that's doing is it's rolling off from about 3K and up. But it's still a gentle roll-off. It's just rolling that off to smooth out and fatten up your bass guitars. right? It's focusing more on the frequency range that benefits a bass guitar, but it doesn't sacrifice the upper mids to a point where you lose articulation or detail. You can utilize that to tame the bite of a harsh synth. And if you have a tapped pickup on one of your guitars or a single coil pickup that you love the punch and dynamics of, but maybe it's a little bit bright and anemic and you want to warm it up, you can utilize that. It's almost like rolling off the tone pot on your guitar fully. And with experimenting on that with some distorted and overdriven guitars, I felt like it allowed me to utilize a more dynamic single coil pickup, but get some really cool bluesy and jazzy lead tones. So definitely worth experimenting with, but that is designed specifically for when you're DIing bass guitar. And I know what you're asking, how does it sound? Well, the next video in this series is the demo video, so you can click over to that and check it out, where we DI several electric guitars as well as a bass guitar, and we reamp with some of the guitar tracks to show you just how this sounds. And in the future, as I finish them and roll out the videos, I will add to this playlist comparison videos between the Dire and a couple other DI boxes and DIs that are built into microphone preamps. But for now, that is the Dire. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me here on YouTube or at the official Ironsmith Audio Reverb store, which is reverb.com/Ironsmith Audio. This is number 2. This is going to go to a friend for review, and when it comes back, it will be listed on the Reverb store for sale. I think that you will be pleasantly surprised by the price on this in comparison to just how great this performs. And this will be the only, as it is the first production model, because number 1 is mine, this is going to be the only production model in this raw aluminum enclosure with the water slide decal on it. But in the future, from serial number 3 and up, same enclosures, but they will be painted black with white silk screening on it. So again, that is the Dire. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the demo. Until next time, thank you for your time and take care.